My experience here has been great. Everybody's been really nice, really helpful, very professional. Seems like very high-end medical care. Sometimes you hear stories about, different countries outside of the US and you expect, I guess, a little bit less professional or less sort of high-end medical care, but this seems to be on par or greater than what you would find in the US. I've been down here treating 3 lumbar discs and the associated facet joints. And I've also been down here treating 2 knee injuries. So I had stem cells injected into, intra-articular both knees. My experience here has been great. I have done PRP in my spine before in the US. And there was no sedation or anything, just a little bit of lidocaine. So it was really painful. It was, those long needles into your spine. And they're thicker with PRP. Here, I was sedated, so I don't remember anything. So I have very little pain today, just a little bit of stiffness. And then the knees were also, my treatment here with the knees was far less painful than, I would say like inferior stem cell treatments I had in the US, because they had to use adipose tissue from my stomach and use a very large needle, and you wanted to die. That was horrible. So here I felt very little pain with the knee injections here. And then I actually had I also had a subscapular, I have a little bit of a muscle tear, I think, a soft tissue damage, and I got a stem cell injection there too. And so we'll see how that works. I've checked a number of places outside of the US for stem cell treatment, but as far as something that I've seen, other people that are in similar sports modalities doing, I haven't seen anyone do that. I see a lot of jiu-jitsu guys and UFC guys and stuff like that coming to BioXcellerator. And even if there's a sponsorship involved, I'm assuming that these guys aren't going to have this stuff done and give positive feedback if it's not effective. And I happened to meet, literally the day I was supposed to do my second set. I had PRP injections a little over 2 years ago. In March, I was due for a new set of PRP injections. And that same day, I actually met a guy in Miami who was a general contractor. I met him through a property manager I know. And I just happened to mention that I would be unavailable the next day because I was getting PRP injections. And the guy asked me, he's like, hey, what are you doing PRP for? And it turned out a month before he had gotten stem cells here and had very similar injuries. And he had really good feedback. And I'm like, it's just random that I would meet this guy and he would mention that. And he was like, I think it's amazing. And then so I was like, all right. I literally called Shelly that day and I'm like, sign me up. Yeah, and no reason to tell me anything that's bullshit. So that means a lot. I would absolutely recommend this to anyone I'd speak to, especially when I see what the results will be. But they seem to have a really deep breadth of knowledge on stem cells, which you don't really find elsewhere. In the US, it's very haphazard and hit or miss. Oh, you can do this. Oh, I'll take some out of your bone marrow. Oh, I'll inject it right back in. You can't culture, you can't grow them. You can't use umbilical cord stem cells. You can't do any of that stuff in the US yet, which is insane. And I'm sure it would be far more expensive there too. So I mean, you just have to get over going outside the country, and once you feel safe doing that, and my wife's from Colombia and everybody comes down here. Yeah, it's like medical tourism, man, it's great. I would do this stuff if this works, man, you guys will see me here every few years to, so I don't get as injured.